Good afternoon and welcome to Tortilla Talk, brought to you by Tech and Tortillas. I'm your host, Dylan, and with me today we have Nick, Troy, and Dallas. Nick, how are we doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Ready for baseball season tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the end of basketball season. Get going in the playoffs. So, pretty excited about some sports and happy Easter weekend.
Yeah, yep, holiday weekend, always fun. Troy, nice background there. How are you, man?
Thanks, man. I workshopped it. Thought it was pretty funny. But I've been good. It's been too long. I haven't seen y'all in a while on Tortilla Talk. So thanks for having me back. I thought I got banned there for a second.
Well, you did get banned. You just got unbanned for today. So chill out. This is a probationary period.
Yeah, we're still feeling you out right now, so we'll see how this goes. It's your trial run. And
Shouldn't have
Dallas,
brought it
it's
up.
always a pleasure to have you.
Yep, thanks for having me on, Dylan. I'm just slowly recovering from the loss that's been almost a week ago, so I think I'm finally at a point where I can talk about it.
And
Baby
Dallas is always the master of segues because we'll go straight into that. Texas Tech guys, unfortunately, lost to NC State in the tournament, ending our season in the first round. I'll go ahead and start with you, Nick. How do you feel about the season?
Dylan, that's a good question. When you look at it as a whole and you take a step back from being a Tech fan, right? You know, we always talk about winning it all and getting crazy. It was a great season. We definitely exceeded expectations. Whole bunch of new faces, new coach. I think he did a great job. I think the team did a great job. Way exceeded expectations. We were picked second to last in the Big 12, I think, in the preseason polls, and to do what we did was very promising, especially having the hopefully the coach of the forever future. So um, I feel good about it. I'd give us a B plus just because we finished a little shaky after how strong we started. But I think towards the end that was more of the real us. Overall, though, I'd say B plus. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, and a B plus is good. I know, Troy, we always get excited, especially when things are going good, and we might change our expectations when that happens as the season goes along. Are you satisfied with, I mean, I don't want to say the result, but with how the Red Raiders played this year?
Yeah, I'll break it up into two, right? The regular season, yeah, I think it's an A. I think we exceeded expectations. I think you probably, Dylan, had the highest expectations with what we said on the previous podcast. And Dallas, I think you said fifth or third, whatever you said, but we did that, right? And we probably went above of what we thought we were going to do. And I think we're probably pretty generous in those instances as well. But I would say if I thought about March Madness, obviously it's probably a C because we did not look as engaged as we had throughout the other games in the season. It just never felt like we were truly in that game. And so that was really disappointing to go out in the first round because I think that team was definitely better than that showing. But, making 3 or 4 like 3-pointers, you're never going to win many games doing that. So if I had to break it up into the two.
Yeah, no, you definitely won't. In Dallas, how do you feel about McCaslin's first year? Are you feeling positive about this, even though it didn't end the way we wanted it to?
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw it was the 6th most wins in a year in program history. McCaslin's first year, so I mean, you can't knock him too much, even with a first round exit in the tournament. I think if you tell any Tech fan that you're making the postseason March Madness at the beginning of the year, they would all take it, even if that meant getting knocked out in the first round. Obviously, when you get there, it sucks, especially after watching Oakland beat Kentucky in that first round game. That was
You're adding
really
salt to the
exciting to
wound,
watch.
Dallas.
And then at the very end, the realization that we are absolutely going to lose this game was really tough. And to watch it all unfold exactly how it felt like after that was tough. But yeah, I think McCaslin set up a great culture and a great foundation to build off of, which is saying a lot from where it came from last year and how last year ended.
Yeah, I like how you brought that up because he definitely did have some repairing to do in the program from a culture perspective, definitely. So to kind of pick up those pieces and put it together and have a solid year like we did, I think that's something to not discount. But I like that as a positive going into next year. Nick, with this current roster and obviously some potential additions down the line, what are you looking forward to most for next year?
Yeah, first, Dallas, you definitely didn't have to bring up the fact that Kentucky lost. That
I
that
mean,
you just brought me down. I forgot about that. And I'd like to say,
I
so
haven't. That's all I've been thinking about.
As soon as Kentucky lost, I called Dallas and said, this is bad. And he goes, yeah. And I said, but I can't put it in the group text because if I do, everyone's going to yell at me. So I'm just letting you know this is bad business for Texas Tech. And sure enough, it unfolded that way. So thank you for reminding me about that.
I think we went like just a minute back and forth saying, no, yeah, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. The term vintage tech was thrown around, I think, like 5 times. So, yeah. Anywho, Dylan, again, good question. I think we all thought about it. It was a glaring issue all year, especially when Warren went out, right? Heights killed us. Sometimes it just felt hopeless. Even when we won the rebound battles, there was like instances during the game where a team might get like 4 offensive rebounds at the worst possible time. And that's an emotional statement, but sometimes it just felt like that. It was like, man, if we just gotten this rebound and not letting them have 3 or 4 chances, we'd be good. So length is definitely something we need. I also I think we need better ball handlers. Again, this team to me overachieved all year. And, and we see this with me in football, with me in basketball. We're going to win the national championship. We're going to win the national championship. But if you honestly, this team was all over the place all year. I never felt good about, we had a couple great wins that were blowouts, like the Kansas game, right? But if we weren't hitting threes, it just didn't feel as good, right? And I think that started with ball handling. Sometimes I was worried we couldn't even dribble the ball up the court. I love Joe Toussaint, but we need someone who can really dribble the ball and control the ball without feeling out of control, right? Pop Isaac's another example. We want him to be a scorer. I don't necessarily want him bringing the ball up. I need someone that can get him the ball if he's going to be that guy. So I think a true point guard who can calm everyone down, and then obviously get me some length, get me someone who's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, those are definitely some things that we need to address in the transfer portal. Troy, for you on the roster right now, what kind of excites you for next year? Is there anything that stands out? I mean, for me, I'll give it right off the bat. Might be taking your answers. It might be the emergence of a couple players, maybe your favorite that I'll let you go into.
Don't do that to him, Dylan. Let him talk about
Give him a little softball here so he can go off about his favorite player. So, Troy, I'll let you go off right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mentioned our first podcast when we talked about our preseason predictions, and I think in that I touched on Williams and my excitement around that guy. And it was really cool to see him, especially when we needed him probably the most, just like blow up onto the scene, right? When Warren Washington was out, didn't have that rebounding presence, and then he started averaging doubles like it was nobody's business, right? Or getting doubles. And so that was really encouraging to see. And so I think he'll continue to emerge. One of the things I had touched on earlier was that the explosiveness to the basket and then his mid-range game too was like, I didn't mind him doing those things because I thought he could do it. And so I think he'll continue to put those pieces together and look to be the scorer, that we need. And so I think that's there. And then obviously we have a good young-ish core with Isaac's returning. He took a little bit of a hindrance in his 3-point percentage with 29% this year. So that's not great. Actually, I was just looking at that when you said that, Dylan. It was lower than Joe Toussaint. And so when you talk about those two guys, you don't think Isaacs would have the worst of the 3-point percentages, but we saw plenty of the games where he shot 8 times and only made one of them. And there's probably, 5 or 6 games where that happened. And so I think he's better than that. And I know he played a lot of the year injured, and I hope that he will come back better, stronger, healthier. And I think he will. And so I'm excited for that too. And the other piece I would say is Cambridge is coming back. I mean, that's a double-digit scorer right there that we didn't have the entire Big 12 play. And so, I think with those three pieces, that's easily close to 45 points a game right there. So I think scoring, will be pretty good, easy for us. And so I think, to Nick's point, length is probably the next thing that we need to look into.
Yeah.
Troy just found
And
his 45 points.
I know he did. And that's
Nice.
definitely big, especially for a team that would struggle on offense at
Spot
times.
it, baby.
45 is pretty generous, but
yeah. I mean, to the point though, a healthy Pop next year and Cambridge coming back almost feels like 2 big portal additions at that point. So it'll definitely be big for the Red Raiders next year. God, I can't talk right now. But tell us, I'll throw it over to you right now. We have some departures in Kyron Lindsey, Joe Toussaint, Warren Washington, and he's on the list, but Drew Steffi's been gone. Does this feel like an opportunity for us to add? Because in my opinion, Toussaint, Washington, but Washington was hurt the whole year pretty much, feel like big-ish losses, but there's a lot of talent out there ready to switch schools.
Yeah, I mean, none of those guys leaving are like all-American, all Big 12 caliber players. They're solid starters in the Big 12, but I think they're very replaceable. I liked the way Washington played often when he was healthy. I think him coming back, you could tell he was rusty and had some miscommunications, especially on defense in that NC State game. But I think you need a guy that is just more physical than him. For being a 7-footer, he wasn't exactly dominant down low. He couldn't back anyone down and would sometimes get bullied around down there. So even if you can get a guy a little undersized, he can hold up a little better against some of the elite post players in the league, then that would be good to see. And then Joe Toussaint, loved the way he played, as far as like how aggressive he was on the court and his all-in-ball defending. But like Nick said, like, to get out of control like quite a bit. I think you just need a veteran calming presence to run the offense through next year and have Pop off the ball. Kind of similar to like Davion Harmon was a couple years ago, and Pop was much better playing off of him. And we'll see how much. I don't know when he hurt that hip. I saw on Twitter his dad was saying that, his hip labrum was shredded. I don't know what point, if that correlated with the shooting slump, because he was hot to start Big 12 play and was playing like a guy that was going to be first or second team all Big 12. But, if you get that Pop Isaacs from the first 5-6 games of the Big 12 regular season, along with a veteran point guard next to him, I really like that. Darian Williams, if he takes the next step next year, I think could be his last year in college, because he's just got all the tools. He's not, the most explosive player in the world, but I think just the basketball IQ and the shot making ability is really impressive. So that's kind of how I'm feeling.
Hey, what
Good.
did you guys think about, and Troy, if you mentioned this, sorry, what did you guys think about Robert Jennings towards the end of the year?
I like Robert Jennings. I think he got a lot more confident towards the end of the year too. And as that progressed, it just seemed like, one, he scored more, but he became more aggressive too. And so as he found himself, he just became a really good addition. And I think some of that aggression that we probably needed, that what Dallas touched on with Warren Washington, right? He was a good enforcer, I think, maybe a little undersized, but I mean, he definitely came along towards the end of the year.
I think so too. I think he towards those final like 4 or 5 games, I was pretty impressed with him. I think I mean, just from where he was at the beginning, where I mean, you couldn't count on him to make a 3-foot, dunk. I think he came a long way towards the end of the year, where I was, confident when he was in the game that good things would happen. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to him. I thought he was very improved from beginning to end of the year.
Yeah, I think the improvement was very noticeable as the year got along, and I think it went through the more confidence he got from playing time. I just think at the end of the day, he's just undersized, and we just need a bigger guy at that position. But no, you did see the improvement, which goes a lot to him and to McCaslin and his staff, right? They were able to get a 6'8", maybe 6'9" guy to be able to play kind of competitively on a Big 12 level at the center position. But speaking of the
I
staff,
don't think he was even that tall.
yeah, I know
I think
I'm
he's
probably
listed
being
at
generous.
6'7". Yeah.
6'7". Yeah,
I do think he could carve out a role if he puts on another like 15 pounds of muscle and have a similar game to like how Noren Sodiak played. Maybe not like
yeah.
is reliable like throwing it into the post, which Noren's didn't do a ton of, but I just think like on the defensive side, he's really aggressive and can, as the year went on, got really aggressive, especially on the defensive rebounding side.
Dallas, what about this? DeJuan Blair for old Pittsburgh, 6'7".
He's gonna have to
How
put on
about
a lot
that?
more weight to get up to
Put on about
DeJuan Blair's
100
size.
pounds.
Yeah,
Says he was
Let's get him real big, and just have him banging bodies down there.
he
What
was
do you
Did he
say?
get
6'7",
arrested for like
270. I
stealing
looked it up.
jewelry?
Dallas,
Oh, we
I'm
don't
not
want
getting
to. Okay,
off the field stuff.
look,
Talking
All right,
about basketball,
yeah,
baby.
what they choose to do in their personal lives is their personal lives, right? Leave that. Hey, we're talking on the court, okay?
I'm talking about he was one of my favorite college basketball players.
He
At
doesn't need to
6'7".
steal jewelry. He needs to steal hardware. Get us a national championship, right, boys?
Steal
Just saying.
it, win it. I don't care how we get.
Last thing though with the Red Raiders, our assistant Dave Smart accepted a position at Pacific as the head coach. Dallas, I'll toss it to you. Is this how do you feel about this? Is this a big deal for you?
I mean, well, you have Mark Titus in the preseason saying that this was the greatest hire in the history of sports. So I'm a little worried that it might have an impact on next year's team. I know that I think he had a lot to do with the improvement on the offensive side of the ball as far as like spacing and stuff when Kerwin Walton was inserted into the lineup. But I don't know. I trust Coach McCaslin. He's won everywhere he's been, and I'm sure he only picked up more basketball knowledge from being on the same coaching staff as him. So I do think it's a loss, and we might notice it. I'm interested to see who we fill his position with, because there were several guys that they looked at, I think, before they got to Coach Smart. So maybe you go after them, but yeah, it's definitely a loss, but I still trust in Coach Gass.
There we go, Coach Cass. All right, boys. That all being said, Tech's going to win the championship next year. Everyone agree?
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That sparkles. All right,
Football,
we'll go ahead and
basketball,
move on to
baseball next
the we'll move on to the rest of March Madness that is still going on, even though it feels like it's not since we're out of it.
It's over.
Guys, the Sweet 16 is about to start on Thursday, and so far it's looking a little bit chalky. Thank you, Dallas, for putting up the graphic without covering my head this time. I definitely appreciate that. But
I think it
we
loses a
had
little
some-
bit.
Technology is really advancing.
I know.
We're getting good here at
dangerous.
Tech and Tortillas.
We're getting dangerous in this.
Look, this
but
is why
yeah,
you
we
got
had
an
some.
engineer on the crew.
Yeah, it is. Yep. That's why we brought him in for stuff
Hey,
like this.
To be fair, guys, this is why people should watch every week, because we're getting drastically better every week. So you're really seeing the dividends here.
And you know what my favorite part of the picture is? Instead of Sweet 16, it's round of 16. I do like
You
that
know,
just
I
generic.
just Googled an image, and this looked pretty good. So
Yeah, that's true. It does work.
Maybe next week we'll have Elite Eight. Maybe that'll be the uptick.
I don't know.
no, next week it'll be
Well-
Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
that's right. Well, yeah. If we do one, it can be the Fantastic Four. We'll put that on there instead.
Mhm.
You know, copyright laws.
just talk
Granted, we
about
still
the
probably get in
movie.
trouble with that.
I think we're trying to avoid one copyright. We just may have hit another.
We just pissed off Disney.
That's
Be
a kind of a
careful, you
theme
don't want-
of the podcast now.
Yeah, I was about to say you don't want Mickey Mouse and Daniel Day-Lewis coming after you. But yeah. Back to that, throwing me off there, guys. There's been a lot of chalk in this tournament. There were some upsets early, but you look down the line, I only see a school I don't want to talk about as a double-digit seed. I'll start with you, Nick. Who do you want to win it all?
UConn.
Yeah.
Big
Wagon
East,
status?
baby. Big East, baby. Yeah, I mean, again, if I didn't pick Tech, UConn was my national champion. So, love me some Huskies. I got 4 of them.
That is true. Nick does have a lot of dogs.
A lot of
Troy,
Huskies.
what about you, Troy? Who do you think's going to take it out of this group?
Who do I want to, or who do I think? I mean, it'd be cool to see Gonzaga or Creighton win. Gonzaga would be really interesting because, finally they don't have all these expectations, and was that all it took? I think Houston's going to win it. I think they'll be able to get past Duke. I think Duke's in for a rude awakening. And then that'd be something if NC State got to the Elite Eight. But I think they can get to there, and they'll probably win it.
Yeah,
So who do you think's winning?
Houston.
Okay.
I think Dallas at the beginning of this said it the best. Like, if Houston is able to play the way that they did throughout the season and the refs let them, they can win it all. But then last game you saw their whole roster foul out against A&M and still pulled it off in overtime. So who knows what they need? I don't know. Maybe they could just do whatever they need to get a win. But I do like what you said about, maybe wanting to see Gonzaga or Creighton win it, because my dumb self I guess I was a little smart enough to talk about how Gonzaga is dangerous and slept on and could make a run while I picked against them. So I don't know what to think, but I'm with you there, Gold Bulldogs. I'll throw it to you though, Dallas. Who do you think will win this all?
Well, I think Houston probably has the easiest path. Obviously they got an 11 seed in their side of the bracket, and I'm not a big believer in Duke this year. I think they'll be able to handle them. I'm rooting for Tennessee, obviously, but we'll see how they fare against Creighton. They could not hit a shot against Texas, so hopefully they got that out of their system. But yeah, I'm excited for that Illinois Iowa State game. I think that's probably going to be the best game out of the Sweet 16, or the round of 16, as we're calling it here.
There we go.
But yeah, I think Houston probably has the easiest path to the Final Four, and they're playing in Dallas, which probably doesn't matter since there's still going to be the same dozen Houston fans there.
Yikes! I guess he's still trying to throw shade right now. Yeah, Dallas, I'm not surprised you said Tennessee. Shout out Scott. I hope you're watching. Your son's loyal sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes.
He did that one for you.
Dude, Tennessee is going to lose. It's not going to happen, Dallas.
Dylan, I wanted to touch on
We'll
one
see.
thing that I thought was funny. So, I really appreciate you putting in all the work with the shorts. You did an excellent job, but it's a shame that you're not 100% on your picks. And I loved that in anyone that you miss, everyone's like, well, this aged well. just the fact that you can't be 100%. I don't understand. I don't know if you're at 50% or better, but shame on you for not being.
It feels like 0. Hey, all press is good press.
Yeah. Some of those comments, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's like
Oh my
3 days
God.
later.
Keep
It
on
was like,
watching,
"You're an
keep on
idiot."
commenting.
Yeah. Hey, while we're talking about it, please like and subscribe so we can afford to call it the Sweet 16 and not the round of 16.
This
Yeah,
is a budget
that is true.
issue.
this
Yeah.
it was either put Tortilla Tom on the top of the screen or call it the Sweet 16. So we
I
chose
had to make
the
an
former.
executive decision.
Yeah, budget cuts.
Yeah, we are going through budget cuts here at
You guys are
Texas
gonna kick me
Tortillas.
off
I mean, this
halfway through the
economy,
call. You
right?
just kick me off.
Look, guys, it's not called budget cuts. It's called optimization.
Yes, that is true. We're trying to find the inefficiencies, and we're
Yes,
trying to get rid of them.
in tech and tortillas.
All right, well, we'll move on, guys. Now, I'm excited for this, but tomorrow baseball starts. It's opening day, guys. I know they already have their Korea opening day on the 20th and 21st, but hey, now everyone gets to play. So I'll go ahead. I'll throw out the favorites to win the World Series, and then I'll toss it to you guys, see who you like. We have the Dodgers plus 320 with all the money in the world that they just spent. You got the Braves plus 450, the Astros plus 700, Yankees plus 900, and then the Rangers and Orioles plus 1400. Nick, who's going to take it all this year?
The Dodgers. I mean, here's the thing, right? Even let's say the Dodgers aren't where they want to be towards the trade deadline. You know what they're just going to do? Go get everyone else's best players, because this seems like what they've just been doing. So this is a super team of super teams. It's amazing what money can get you. So the Dodgers are going to win. At plus 320, you might as well put some money on it.
Are you worried that they're a super team every year?
Now. Yeah, but this year just seemed wild. It was like, oh, I really hope the Red Sox get that pitcher. Psych.
No,
Or
Red Sox don't
even
care.
sorry, let me rephrase that. Let me not use the Red Sox because the Red Sox didn't want to spend any money this year.
They don't care.
But anybody, it was just anybody that was like, oh, I need a pitcher. Well, the Dodgers are going to take him, so don't worry about it. So yeah, I just take them now at plus 320 because halfway through the season they're going to be even money to win the World Series. It's going to be ridiculous.
All right, Troy, I'll toss it to you. Who do you have winning it this year?
Man, I have no idea. You gotta think. I don't want to agree with Nick, but the Dodgers. But I'll change it up and say that the Rangers are going to repeat.
Oh man,
There you go.
all right.
I don't want to
Not
agree
even
with Troy. So
All right, Dallas, do you want to agree with Nick or no?
yeah, well, now he's going to agree with
No,
Troy.
I would hate to agree with Nick, so I'm going to agree with Troy.
Yeah,
The Rangers will win the World. No, we got
Yeah.
a fella by the name of Wyatt Langford who's going to hit 70 home runs this year. So be on the lookout. I know it's sensitive subject around maybe non-Ranger Tech fans because he sent the Red Raiders home a couple years ago, but now he's playing for the good people of the Texas Rangers. I'm excited.
good people.
I am not the biggest MLB guy, but I started to get into it last year just because the Rangers were relevant again for the first time in a while. And we got our boy Josh Young, who I'm hoping to see make an All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, he is on an upward trajectory right now, so hopefully we can see him to continue progress. So,
I
guys,
don't
what
want
do
to
you
agree with
think?
Dallas either. I'm gonna
I
go
got
to
the Red Sox plus
and their
6,000 to
Moneyball
win the World
standing.
Series.
So okay, so that's my heart pick, right? The Sox are winning the World Series. It's going to be wild this year.
No, I don't want them to. They need to teach ownership a lesson. They don't care.
They're
Yeah,
going
but at plus
Moneyball.
6,000.
Make a movie.
I'm still going to watch all the games, and I'm going to hate this team. I don't know. They don't care. I hate.
Okay,
That's
I
what
always
I'm
get
not the Red
excited. I
Sox.
hate being this upset going into a season.
I know. If it's not the Red Sox, who is it?
I thought I was going to be surprising by saying a repeat with the Rangers, but freaking everyone chose it on this panel because that's where I wanted to go. But
Whoa. What did you expect I was going to say?
The Braves.
maybe the Giants?
You guys are a bunch
Sneaky?
of clowns.
No, it's going to be the Rangers. Let's get a repeat, baby. Let's
Too many
get a
bats.
repeat. But hey, Nick, for your original pick, though, I have something that might make you a little nervous. The news with Shohei Ohtani going around.
No, I love this. Let's talk about it.
So his interpreter. So this is all alleged as of now. All we know is that there was money placed on some bets, and the word is that the interpreter was stealing money from Shohei for years and placing bets on various props, whatever he could. So, Nick, I'm going to throw it to you first since you have the Dodgers. Is Shohei an innocent victim here, or is he just a degenerate gambler?
He's a victim of degenerate gambling. All right? It can happen to any of us. You know, you place a parlay here. You place a little bet here. You go down a couple bets, right? You're down a few $100. Well, maybe for him, a few $100,000. Then you start chasing, okay? And let me tell you that feeling, all right? It's noon. Hey, I got a basketball game I can bet on. It's a sure thing. You bet on it. You lose again. And now it's it's just going downhill after that, right? And then you're $4.5 million in debt. So, happens to all of us. It just so happens not all of us are professional athletes that can control some of these bets. That being said, this is all alleged, all right? And here's what I'm going to tell you. His interpreter / probably best friend, I mean, if you think about it, right, the only dude he's talking to on a daily basis, right? So best friend, interpreter, horrible gambler. How do you lose $4.5 million? It's
Blackjack.
Watch.
blackjack. Yeah, Troy, chill. Yeah,
Electronic
my wife-
basketball.
well, no, it's not a
We're
big deal.
gonna
My
find
wife
out in
doesn't watch
Vegas
this. You can say
next month.
blackjack. Yeah, you're gonna see what I can do to blackjack, or what blackjack can do to me. I'm a
You thought
victim.
you thought you had the edge in a Taiwanese basketball game?
I told you about table basketball, right?
That's what I
Did I
said
ever tell you
earlier.
that story about
Electronic
table basketball?
whatever.
Yeah. So hang on. So real quick, side story about degenerate gambling. There's a thing called table basketball. It's like air hockey, and what it is, it's like a dome, right? And you're standing at one side, guys standing at another side, and there's like 8 buttons, and it shoots air up from these holes in the ground, and there's like little mountains in between, peaks and valleys, and the ball rolls in the hole. You press the button, and it shoots, and you try to make it in the other person's basket. The other person plays defense by trying to blow the air and blow it away from their basket, right? I thought I was betting on
Basketball.
like American basketball, or like it was like Croatia for
NBA.
so and so. Not the NBA. I thought it was like FIBA. Yeah, I thought
I was betting on Papa Shot at Dave and Buster's.
so. I thought it was FIBA, right? Like I thought I was betting on FIBA World Basketball, and then I start watching the game, and it's two like 18-year-old kids just pressing buttons like playing air hockey. I won the bet, but man, was it electric. So, long story short, I don't know if Shohei's innocent or not, but I understand how someone could find themselves in that situation. I personally, what do I think? I think he had to have known something, right? I mean, even rich people, $4.5 million. Like, I don't know. It's just confusing. And then he got married like 10 days ago, right? Or he introduced his wife to the world.
The ultimate cover-up.
It seems like, well, I'm just saying, it seems like funny timing for a guy who was very quiet about his life. Maybe she caught him, right? Maybe she was like, "Hey, where's your $4 million going?"
Hey, honey, why are you watching air hockey basketball?
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. But I just, it'll be interesting to see. I think the guy's taking the fall. He's saying he stole, and everyone's in agreement. So we'll see if that guy gets a nice lump sum payout or not. Very interesting stuff from my guy Shohei. Very relatable, except for the amounts.
It can happen to anybody.
Do you think the reason he structured that contract like how he did, where he gets paid like all of it like in 20 years or whatever, is because he knows he's gonna blow it all on air hockey basketball if he gets it all up
Yeah.
front.
Dude, air hockey basketball is addicting. Okay, I haven't
It
stopped.
sounds
This was like
addicting.
years
That's an
ago.
amazing name.
Well,
Dude,
you know what they
I don't know
say.
what it was called,
You know what they
but I love
say.
it.
A bird in the hand is worth a gambling addiction in the bush.
Yeah,
So you
I've
got to
heard
push
that.
that further down the line. Don't even worry about it. Let that money
Dude.
come in, and hopefully you kick the addiction.
When
Dylan,
I
think
when
the
that
US
when
economy uses that same logic.
I think
when that over hit, there was nothing like it, and I didn't even know it hit. It just the score at the bottom just was the over, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." So, an electric.
There we
victory.
go. Yeah, Troy, I kind of want to get your thoughts here because I did see a funny video where Pete Rose had to say, "Hey, I'd be in the Hall of Fame if I had an interpreter." Troy, what do you think about this whole situation?
You know, that's a really funny concept. If he just spoke English and then he needed an English interpreter, he was like, "Listen, he does my talking for me, and he places my bets." I mean, not really though. Yeah, I feel bad for Pete. I mean, maybe they'll let him in now because I don't think they're going to ban Shohei. So, especially with his interpreter taking the fall. But yeah, life comes at you fast. I don't know what the end result's going to be, but I do think he's a betting man, and I think it's all legit. And I'd just be curious what he was betting on. I don't know if it was on the MLB.
Troy
I saw
knows a betting
somewhere
man when he
from Bart.
sees one.
Yeah, I do. I do
Hey,
know that.
Troy, whatever he's betting on, we fade him because he's horrible.
Yeah, but I do know on Barstool they said that he was at the Texas Tech Gonzaga game in 2019, and they're like, "What business did Shohei Ohtani have with being at the Gonzaga Texas Tech game?" And
Financial business.
I mean, I don't know what the score was, but hopefully he had us.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't Gonzaga have that Japanese player? Is Hachimura? Is he Japanese?
Now you're gonna make
Maybe
me
they know each
yes,
other.
he
I
is.
don't know.
Continue, Dallas.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
But I like the other angle though. Dallas, I'll toss it to you. Is this the ultimate lesson in how important a fall guy is? I know it's different levels, but you got your Ray Lewis, you got your Shohei Ohtani. Is this just a lesson in always have a fall guy with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we take anything away, that's a great lesson to be learned from here. You know, that's half the reason to get like a dog or something. You can just blame it on them when
Are we talking
you know,
farts?
they fart, they tear up a cushion, piss on the couch, something like that, you know.
Dallas, are you tearing up cushions and pissing on couches?
this is
No, it's the dog,
No, I'm
Dylan.
just saying
It's the dog.
theoretically.
Dallas, is that an issue in your house?
We're talking Fall Guys here, right?
Yeah.
Do you
safe space.
remember? Hang on, that just reminded me of remember Dallas when I graduated from Tech, and that's right. And you moved into my old room, and there was pee on like the corner, and your
Are you
mom like
gonna
I
finally
think
admit
your
that it
mom
was
thought
you?
it was me, and it was actually my dog because I had just found a dog and he like peed everywhere.
There's a pee corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was your dog, just like I'm sure.
I moved in.
Yeah.
Just like it was Dallas's dog that tore up the cushions and peed on the couch.
It seems that Dallas's comments were very pointed.
Well, it sounds like he adopted your methodology with blaming it on the dog, because we all know.
No, dude. You remember, dude? It was Gronk. He was a wild dog, you know.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever,
sure I remember,
whatever.
Nick. Yeah.
Here's the thing: everyone needs a fall guy. Everyone needs Jake Roberts. You know what I mean?
Hey,
No.
Hachimura had 22 points in that Texas Tech and Zaga game.
Nobody listening to this knows what
What'd you say, Dallas?
Hachimura had what?
22 points
I
in that
said
game.
nobody's gonna understand the
But
Jake
Tech
Roberts
won.
reference.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
you
love
guys
that
will.
Dallas is on like a 10-second delay for everything we say. It's
Am I?
making
Yeah,
this
kind of
awesome.
driving me
I'm
nuts.
noticing that.
Driving me nuts.
For him trying to answer these questions is great.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on, Dallas, say
It's
something.
not gonna like. Oh,
All
that
right.
looked great.
But guys, that's all we got for you today. Thank you guys for watching, and please like and subscribe. It's Tech Letter N Tortillas. Again, Tech and Tortillas across all socials. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining me. It was good to have a group of 4 today. This was fun. Always good, Dallas. Always good to see you. Nick, go ahead and give me some Bachelor talk real quick.
Hey, thank you, because I was going to say it anyway. Congratulations to Kelsey A. for winning our guy Joey's heart, big time. Hey, congrats to Daisy. I don't know if you guys saw this, but my people tell me the first time in Bachelor history that the female that was not chosen broke up with him before everything happened. She didn't break up with him. She said, "Hey, look, I love you. I know you're not choosing me." And they made it very obvious in the show, very clever editing to make it just so clear. But hey, kudos to Daisy. She does not want to be the Bachelorette, so they're bringing Jen on for the Bachelorette. Looking forward to that. But man, they just manufacture drama in that show. It's very impressive how they do it all. So looking forward to the Bachelorette. We'll see what happens. But yeah, congrats, Kelsey A. engaged to Joey.
There we go. And Troy, always good to see you. Thank you for not being the guy that blames his dog for things that he tends to do around the house. I appreciate that.
I never had a pee problem.
I have a baby now. I can blame that on.
And this episode's
Somebody
brought to you by Fall Guys, the video game. Fall Guys, fun, and you need them.
And also brought to you by Puppy Pads. Puppy Pads. When it's you peeing, but not your
Nick.
dog, but you need to blame it on the dog, get Puppy Pads.
If you don't think I'm gonna make that a short,
All right, guys. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Guns up. Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.